Hi grade 6s. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Williams and I teach one of the grade 6 science classes at school. And today we're going to be planting the tomato seeds for our Tomatosphere program as part of our grade 6 science unit. Now, we got our seeds for this project right before the March break, and at first I was really upset because I thought with all the social distancing and the e-learning, we weren't going to get a chance to do this project. And I think it's really cool. But then I realized that I could do the project at home and share it with you guys remotely over the internet. Now, my husbands and my kids think I'm a little crazy, but it's for science. So, how the Tomatosphere project works. Our school got sent a set of 2 types of seeds, and we don't know yet what the difference between these seeds are. All we know is one pack is labeled with a P and the other pack is labeled with an N, and we're going to plant these separately. What we've been told is that one of these sets of seeds has either been to outer space, so it went up with an astronaut to the International Space Station and flew around for a while, or it might have stayed on Earth, but it was still subjected to a space-like environment. The second set of seeds stayed right here on Earth, never had anything funny done with it. It's just like regular tomato seeds. The key thing is we don't know which pack of seeds is which. And they do that on purpose to keep it a fair science test. So now let's get down to planting. So the equipment I have for planting, I have some of these trays here, and then I have these little peat pellets, and I'm going to set them in the tray. And it turns out that I've managed to fit 36 in each tray. So in total, we're going to be able to plant 72 seeds in total, 36 of which will be the pea seeds. That sounds weird, but that's what they are. And 36 are going to be the N seeds. Now I should point out, before I actually put the peat pellets in these trays, I did wash them with bleach. That's important because you don't want there to be any little bacteria that might affect how the tomato seeds grow. But I rinsed them really well afterwards and then I dried them out. So now, as I said, I have all my peat pellets in the tray. The next step is going to be I have to fill each tray with some warm water for the pellets to absorb and get nice and moist for the seeds. After I do this, we have to wait for 40 minutes. I just wanted you to get a chance to see the tomato seeds before we planted them. So you can see they're pretty small. And at this stage, if you look at them, you can't tell the difference between the 2 sets of seeds. They look pretty similar. So these would be the pea seeds and these would be the N seeds. Okay, so the peat pellets have been sitting in the trays in the water for 40 minutes, and they've soaked up a lot of that water, so they're nice and moist and ready for us to plant the seeds. Now, just to give you a sense of how much difference it makes after they've soaked in the water, here's one of the original pellets, and there's one of the pellets after it's been soaking in water. So you can see it soaked up a lot of water. It makes a huge difference. So I also poured off any of the extra water because just like you want the pellets to be nice and moist for the seeds, you don't want to have too much water or the plants will drown. So here's a close-up of one of the trays, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but I have labeled all of my trays with Sharpie so I won't get them confused. So this is my one of my trays for the pea seeds. And before I plant a seed, I have to loosen up the top of the peat pellet a little bit because it's got some mesh around it. Then my finger's a little damp, so I'm going to take my finger and just catch one of the seeds. And for each seed, I'm going to push it down about 2 to 3 millimeters inside the peat pod. So I'll do one more. Whoop, can't pick it up. Whoop, now I've got 2. There we go. So once all of the seeds have been planted, they recommend that you put a cover on them because they'll germinate faster. Now, you need to know the word germinate. It's just a fancy science term that means the seed will start sprouting and we'll actually be able to see little tomato plants. So they recommend that you put a lid on. I don't have a lid for each of these trays, so we're very high tech in the Williams household. We're going to be using plastic wrap. So I'm just going to take a sheet of plastic wrap and loosely cover each one of the trays. And once I do that, I'll set them over by a window, so the 4 trays will sit over near the light. And each day I'll take a picture and share it with you over the internet. And you will count how many of each type of seed has germinated and when they germinate. So that's when you see the sprouts.